Julie Foudy, Lauren Holiday, Chain Dog. Sorry, I have to call you Chain still.
That's okay.
What's up, ladies? How's it going?
Hi.
I was just saying,
Great,
I've got John here helping me with the technical stuff. This is my first time hosting, so thank you for being my guest and my guinea pigs in this.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed already.
Everyone, Julie Foudy, Lauren Cheney Holiday. We have some very exciting things to talk about today, but we don't want to skip out on the recent NWSL news that has just occurred. So we definitely want to address that. It's very important in this time, in this moment, not to stay silent on things. So just wanted to take a moment to address that and have any thoughts, responses. I know you all, this is something that has deeply affected our soccer community, and we're not by any sorts of means over with this, but Foudy, go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a hard week. I know for everyone. So it's something that you look at and go, how does this continue to happen? Why does this continue to happen? How are we, I mean, we've seen it not just in women's soccer, of course, and other sports, but why are we constantly in a position where the women have to go through this personal toll and come out publicly to, in a fantastic story by Meg Linehan, but that it shouldn't take that and them having to sacrifice so much for this to get resolved. And so I'm hopeful that we can create a new league that in the NWSL that is all about players being front and center and first and foremost and listening to them and engaging with them and making them part of the decision-making process, which is why what we're about to announce is going to be, I think, so critical because it helps create that pipeline. So, but I just know it's been a tough week for a lot of people. And so I'm hopeful though that out of this is something that is super special because the players are really special.
Absolutely. Lauren.
Yeah, this is just such a heavy time. And, speaking to the women in the league now and just being, I'm not that far removed from it. And just knowing that we need to empower each other and we need to empower the women in this league. And I think here at Angel City, we do understand that we need to build something that's meaningful and intentional and that's different. And I think that that's what we're doing. But I think that around the league, we need to come together and just really support each other and love on each other. And we got to get through this together.
Yeah, 100%. And I think obviously we have different hats, we have different roles. Everybody has a role to play, right? As past players, we understand what it's like to be in those positions. And, these are things that are not new, but they're not specific just to our sport. These are world issues. So how can we address them in our sport right now and move forward, progress, and really become more player-centric? So thank you all for sharing that. And we're all here to support one another through this. So in light of progress and moving forward and doing things that are player-focused, we definitely want to talk about what we're doing at Angel City. So I kind of wanted to start a little bit. We're talking about life after playing. So I want to kind of address this issue because I selfishly don't know your stories. These are things that are so impactful to us. Transitions can be hard. Change can be hard. I don't actually know what your stories are and what that was like for you. And I think it's so important to share these stories with one another. But Lauren, can you just talk a little bit about what life after, playing was like for you?
Yeah, you say like you don't know our stories, and
this
and I was like,
part.
Is it normal that 5 years later I still feel like I'm transitioning? Is that a normal feeling?
Yeah.
Because I still feel that. It was extremely difficult. Retirement was extremely difficult. I felt like I was ready, and then I cried for maybe, I say 2 weeks, my husband might say a month, after I finally decided like, okay, this was it for me. But still, like, I feel like soccer was that was me. There was like a part of my identity is soccer. It still is. So finding myself outside of that has been extremely difficult. Thankfully, I have had friends and family to support me, but I'm still figuring it out. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
even there. And there's so many things I feel like I dream up and that I want to do that I'm like, well, I don't know. Am I good enough for that? Am I good at that? Like soccer, I knew I was good, and finding something outside of that can be really difficult.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm with you. I feel like it has taken me a long time. I kind of feel like maybe there's this kind of constant transition because of, doing something that we love for so long. But Jules, how was it? How was it for you?
Yeah. It was that long ago. I can't remember. Uh, it it's hard. It's hard. And I think for me, I retired at like 33, I believe. Yeah, 33. And I felt like crap. I didn't realize that by playing, you gain all these talents and skill sets that will serve you so well in the next life. But I felt like I'm behind 10 years for all these people who have come out of college, who have been in the marketplace, who have been working. And what the hell am I going to offer? And how am I going to actually compete, in the market space because I don't have that knowledge or that background. And so, yeah, it was hard. I mean, I fell into TV pretty quickly. But at one point I was going to be a doctor. I was going to go to med school.
You still can, Jules. You're
Right?
not.
I love it.
You
God,
still can.
I'd have to retake the MCATs, and that gives me PTSD. So no, yeah. So it's hard, and that's why I look back and go, gosh, I wish while I was playing, I had interned at a local TV station, or I had actually taken journalism in college, or I had done something, so that when I stepped away, I felt like, oh yeah, I can do this because I've already, put my foot in the water.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for me personally, I look back now and I was like, oh, I was depressed. Like I don't think I even understood, what I was experiencing when I was experiencing, and I think it was challenging to find the support because it almost feels so specialized because our careers, we're around each other, this is our family, right? And we have such non-traditional um, careers where we're on the road, we're traveling, we're, with each other so much. We have a scheduled routine. And then you just kind of take that all away. And for me, it was a little bit isolating and really
Yeah.
detached feeling.
Yeah.
But I think just also knowing where to go, how to get the right support. And you talked about internships, Julie. As professional athletes, you have to be so focused also, right, on the sport and on the game. So for both of you, when did you start to think about that life after soccer?
After soccer, I started thinking about life after soccer.
You're like, after it was done.
That's when I did. But like you said, I really resonate with what you said. It's like creating that community. Like soccer was my community. That was everything that I had. And then even when you build these relationships and these bonds with people, and then you're no longer on the team, and that doesn't mean you don't have that, but it's a different relationship. It's a different bond. And then you come into whatever's next, and it's like, am I supposed, where's my friend circle? They're competing here. And that's what I could relate to. And it was really hard to find a space that I related to.
Yeah, for sure. And what did you, I mean, obviously we all have kind of different times, right, of when we came out, and I still feel like this hasn't been addressed properly and thoroughly yet, but Jules, did you feel like you had a support system, kind of going into your next career?
I felt that, and I didn't know this at the time, but it turned out, I think, to be a gift. I was always not 100% fully focused on soccer, which doesn't come as any surprise to anyone who played with me, right? I had a million other things going on,
Yeah.
and I honestly think I could have been a lot better player if I had spent a little more time on soccer. But I realized early on that if I was soccer 24/7, I was not happy as a human, that I needed a balance of other things in my life to stimulate my brain. And so I had, done some television work already. I had done work with the Women's Sports Foundation. I think I was the president by then at one point I was still playing. So
2003. That's when you
yeah,
brought us all in there. Yeah. You were
yeah,
president.
yeah, right. So I was still playing.
Yep.
So I had done some advocacy around Title IX. And I think all those things actually gave me a sense that, okay, you know, I can do things post soccer, and made that transition a little bit easier, but I had no substantive experience. And that's the thing I wish we did more with players, right? Is to plant the seed and say, you could be this, you could coach, you could go work for a club. If you don't want to coach, you could be a GM, or you can run marketing, or you can do television and announcing, and all these different things that I wish someone had been more intentional with all of us. Because I look back and think, oh my God, how many people would have gone into that profession if that seed had been planted and people watered it a little bit.
Yeah. No,
So
sure.
the poster child, Julie, for what to do, and the poster child, Lauren, for what not to do.
Yeah, but I wasn't the poster child. I was just like dabbling in a million different things.
But that's important, right? Because I mean, I could argue perhaps that made you a better player though, Jules, right? Because you had more of that balance, you know, and that approach, and you knew what you needed to be happy, you know. And I think it's hard. It's hard to figure out what that balance is, because you do have the focus, yet you're being pulled to do appearances. You're being pulled to do other things that aren't soccer specific on the field. So, you know, how are we integrating that support, the kind of foresight, right, into what's to come next, while still allowing, you know, players to compete on the field? Janie, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of like that support that you're feeling? I know you mentioned Drew a little bit too afterwards, but how was that for you?
Yeah, I think I did have a support system in my family, and my husband, who was still playing, and he knew better than to say anything about my emotional breakdowns. But he was able to, you know, understand a little bit what I was going through. But I also think like friendships are so valuable, and I try to explain to people, when you're on the national team, on a professional team, on those bonds are like very hard to break that you have with people. So even though maybe people didn't understand what I was going through, they were still able to support me. And I think having like-minded people together is very, very important. And I think that has helped me a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think it's one of those things where we're still trying to figure out what we can do to help support our players. I think it's time to actually make the announcement official in terms of what we're talking about, why we're talking about retirement, why we're talking about this life after. But at Angel City, what we have done and what we're about to announce is the Player 22 future program for Angel City. What that is it's a pathway for retired NWSL players. So we are going to create a fund that retired NWSL players will be able to tap into and apply to start taking pathway programs for career development, and really address this issue in bridging that gap, I think, of helping people to be more of a holistic person, you know, as a professional athlete. So, you know, this is something that we're extremely excited about. When you talk about player development, you know, doing something holistically, we all have our personal experiences and understanding what this really means. But Julie, why is this something that you think is an important program to address right now?
Oh, because I mean, look what we're seeing. We're seeing that we need more women in these positions. We're seeing that we need more women in these positions of power. We're seeing that we need to create that pipeline for women to come through them. And I think that, as I was just saying earlier, being able to talk to a player while they're playing, you know, as hard as it is a lot of focus you have to put on playing and be committed to that. But you also have a lot of downtime where you can be learning and you can be growing and you can be doing other things. And to be able to channel that into a positive place if they want it, and saying, hey, this is an opportunity for you for this next chapter to get ahead of it, which we never did, to get a start on it, which we never did. And so I love it. I love it for that reason, because that transition is so hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of what was attractive to us in joining Angel City was just that, right? Creating more pathways, creating opportunities for women, seeing more female on the leadership side of things, ownership with our ownership group as well. Lauren, why do you think this program is a good one right now as well?
Yeah, I think it's just phenomenal to be able to guide people in the right direction and really give them the opportunity to figure out what they're passionate about other than sport, or outside of sport, or with sport involved in what they want to do. So I'm super excited about this program, and I would actually like to enroll myself if that's available. But I'll talk to you guys offline about that. No, I'm really excited.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll talk more about that later, Chase. And we'll start to get more details out there as well about how this works. But we are so excited to actually take 10% of a completely new line, the Player 22 merchandise line. We're going to take 10% of those proceeds and then put them into this Player 22 Future Fund part.
Yeah.
Of that Player 22 right there. Got that?
Oh, nice.
We'll have to get you all some of this merch. This is super soft. I think this is where all my Christmas gifts are going to be going. But look at this.
Nice.
So we got all that. Oh, I didn't know I was going to be Vanna in the bottle.
Get all that.
Yeah, shout out to Katie Eaton and merchandise and everything that she's been able to develop with this. But I mean, I think it's just so exciting to be able to do something that, you know, we experienced, right? And we can see how we need to bridge that gap. So we're going to be taking 10% of the proceeds from this merchandise line and allocating it to the Player 22 Future Program Fund so that female retired NWSL players now have an opportunity to apply to a program, to become a GM, to get coaches licensing, to have that career pathway really shown. Julie, I know you just talked about, you know, we don't have those pipelines established yet for female coaches. Like, this is something that we have been talking about for years. You introduced me to this with the Women's Sports Foundation as well. Yeah. So, you know, these are things that we need to address right now. I'm excited that you all are a part of this as well and making this announcement as owners of Angel City FC. You know, what we're also doing is we're having a third party, the California Community Foundation, manage the fund and also go through that application process. So we're having a third party do that for us. Angel City is not a 501c3, so we think it's very important to have that transparency with a process like this as well. Lauren, I know you have your own foundation. Can you talk a little bit to us about that and why that's important?
Yeah, so I did find my passion after soccer, and it really has been serving others. And Drew and I started the JLH Fund with his salary after he went into the bubble. It's to support Black-owned business and Black nonprofits. And navigating that space was super enlightening, but I realized that I needed help. And so we actually hired a woman named Alexis Feaster and the Kinship Advisors, and they have been phenomenal. I've seen our fund grow. I've seen the impact that we have had on so many businesses, and we partnered with another organization called Fund Black Founders, who they actually put them in coaching cohorts and teach them crowdfunding and a lot of necessities in starting their own business or nonprofit that they would need. And so I love what Angel City is doing with this and outsourcing it, because it is so important to have the right people leading it so that it is as successful as it can be. Like, I could only do so much, but with my team, I feel like it's so much better.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's hugely important. I see the work that you all are doing. I love the stories too that you're sharing about that impact being made. I think that's so important within our community. So thanks for all the work that you guys are doing with that too. And Jules, you know, with this, the Player 22 specifically, we're actually going to retire this number.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? So we're going to retire
retiring the jersey already. 22 is going to be retired. 22 signals the year that Angel City is, of course, launching with some games. We've already launched, but actual games. We're going to be playing finally on the field. And then 22 also symbolizes you have 22 players on the field, both starting 11. So I do think I saw someone in the comments saying, you know, this is a great program that could be modeled elsewhere. And I think that's really our goal for so much of this, is to start thinking differently in terms of player engagement and enhancement. So yes, I think that is part of the plan. And but I commend you all. Ange, I know you've spent a ton of time doing a lot of work, and the team at Angel City FC has done a ton of work on this. So great job, sister.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. But honestly, like, this is something that obviously we're all passionate about. I've just been so tremendously appreciative of every single department within Angel City has touched this in some way, shape, or form. And the execution has been incredible from the Angel City staff and team. And it's come all the way from our leadership with Julie Ehrman really kind of sparking this and getting us going and moving in this right direction. So it's great to be amongst people who understand and get it. And, you know, as we're forging through to more opportunities, you know, the number 22 obviously is important for all those reasons that you just said, Jules. And it's one way that we're igniting higher expectations on and off the field. You know, so when this jersey is purchased, the number 22 will be the most meaningful jersey in sports. You know, that's the hope. And so people are able to really purchase with purpose with player 22. So we're super excited about that. You know, I wanted to also just add a little bit of more context with this as well, because we have 3 partners that, you know, are joining us within this program as well. And achieved by buying the number 22 and the collective impact of this sponsorship model that we have at Angel City, you know, working with our jersey partners. So DoorDash, nearly 40,000 meals have been delivered to Los Angeles residents in need to date, and DoorDash being one of our partners in this, as well as Sprouts, with 8 total school garden builds and support of nutritional education within these communities. And then our last sponsor, Birdies, also playing a role in this initiative. Is our first year, we actually had 3 completely bright young women come in as interns on scholarships for college and in this internship program with Angel City. And it was just such an incredible experience to, you know, again, we haven't even launched our soccer team yet, but we have these bright women coming in here, learning from us and teaching us. And so with the support of Birdies as well. So we really are appreciative to our sponsors who've helped to enable this as well. So just with that, any last thoughts? I just wanted to have an opportunity. I think, Julie, what you said too, I did see that comment as well. And I can see this being a program across the league, right, for all players. But, you know, as we were about to launch into our season here next year, you know, this is a program that, you know, we don't have players yet, but we're putting into place. You know, any last thoughts about player 22 from the both of you, and, you know, the impact that you hope it will make?
Go ahead, Lauren.
I was going to say, like, joining Angel City, for me, this is why I joined Angel City. Like, I saw the vision. I saw just like the impact and the power that we could have as a group of women. And I'm just so proud to be a part of it. And I'm so excited for 2022 and our initiatives launching and the team coming together. And I'm so proud to be a part of this with you guys.
I know. I couldn't echo that anymore, because it's one thing. I just feel like the mindset for so long has been, as we've seen, and sadly in these last few days, has been be grateful that you even have a league, be grateful that you play on the national team, sit down, be quiet, right? Stop bringing up these issues. And this is a place in Angel City, which is why we all jumped in, that just everything feels different. And it's not just talk, it's action. I mean, the first call we had as owners with our whole group, we talked about a program to help players. Abby, you know, Wambach mentioned that she wanted to start a retirement fund for players. And so these are the things that we can put into action. And I think that's what people want to see. So I'm super proud of us for leading the way in that regard. And I can't wait to roll out, no pressure, Anne, but like 5,000 more programs like this.
All right, the bar has been set by my captain, Julie Foudy. I have the most respect for both of you. I feel like I've learned so much from each of you as teammates, as friends, as sisters. You know, the leadership that you each show on a day-to-day basis is something that I aspire to continue to try and achieve to meet. So I am so honored to be able to do this with the both of you and the rest of our investor group and the rest of the staff at Angel City. I thank you all for your time, for being here, for sharing your stories. And I thank everybody else also on here showing up and sharing the space with us. So Player 22 is now officially launched. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Fouds. Thanks, Janie. Appreciate you
Great
both.
job, Ange. Miss you, Laura.
LF2, baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
Go, baby.
Good to see you guys.
Bye.